Well, right off the bat, New York City. I've always wanted to visit, I guess, just feel like I live in the USA, and that's what people outside the USA seem to think of. And I've never seen it, so, love to visit that. Wouldn't want to live there, because, just not really my cup of tea. And Ireland, it's just always looked really beautiful to me, and I've always liked the music, so, yeah, New York City and Ireland, two very polar opposite places. Counting Crows is my go-to. I've seen them twice. They're a great live band. And I've just always enjoyed their music. I've always enjoyed how they improv live and kind of take their songs and rework it. I'd say my biggest bragging right concert would be Eric Clapton. I saw him in 1998, Pilgrim Tour. Dude can still play. Also, oddly enough, James Taylor I've seen a couple times. He and his band are great live. They do a lot of the same stuff as Counting Crows. So those are three that come to my mind. Hard work. I don't consider myself particularly talented in one way or another. I mean, there's people with way more talent. Your real life August Rushes, your savants. That wasn't me. I had to work at it. I'm a systematic guy, is kind of right. And there's still hundreds of players better than me. So I'd go ahead and say hard work. Reliability, the ability to use a phone, the ability to remember how their fingers work and text back and stuff like that. But, and all joking aside, besides that, obviously, playing well and being able to be fluid and creative is very important. But you gotta be able to return a phone call. The fluidity and how a song's always gonna sound different from one night to another. I like the interaction between the bandmates, between the audience, and just how organic it is. You can't BS a live performance. You just can't, unless you use a backing track, but obviously you don't do that. Well, I don't know about favorite kind of capo, but I do have this really intense 12-string capo that really holds the string nicely and it lets it ring a whole lot more. I also have a mandolin capo that I use for one of our songs that capos kind of part way, leaves some of the strings open. It's a nice creative one to use. Oh man. And guitars. Well, I got my Martin OM, I got my Ovation, which was my go-to guitar for a long time, my electric Fender Swirl model, which is my go-to electric, my Spear, I've got my classical guitar, I've got my bass guitar, which counts as a guitar, my resonator guitar, 7, and that's not including my mandolin, my banjo. Oh, 8, because the one Angie gave me. Yeah, my Oscar Schmidt that I got for a grand total of $0. Regularly, 1 or 2, maybe 3. It kind of depends on how I feel though. Counting Crows, August and Everything After was definitely the harbinger of things to come when it came to songwriting. I cite Clapton as my influence for guitar, but as far as lyrics, that was a big one for me. Bob Dylan too, to a degree. I think every songwriter can kind of say they had some Bob Dylan or even Beatles influence. But I cite the Crows as a big influence as far as getting to the emotional depth of a song. So, what inspires me most to write? It depends. It's always a situation, but it's never a journal entry. It's always a feeling, and I just kind of take that feeling, put a lick to it, and run. Well, that depends upon what you classify as a public performance. My first on-stage performance with my guitar that I would consider something that would count. 8th grade, I just got up with my electric guitar and I just started improvising, and I got like a standing ovation. It's like, wow, this feels nice. The first time I ever sang, it took a long time for me to actually get comfortable to sing in front of people. It was at a bonfire that I used to go to called Beach Bard's Bonfire. If you're a Glen Arbor resident, you know what I'm talking about. And I played a Pearl Jam song, and I felt like I had an out-of-body experience because that's what I needed to do to actually overcome my timidness and actually singing. And then I just did it, and then it was all over, and I was committed, and there's no way I was stopping there. So, love to open for the Pumpkins. Big Smashing Pumpkins fan. Like to open for Nirvana, but that's not possible anymore now, is it? I was 4 years old, and it was the violin, of all things. I played the violin first. I switched to the cello, actually, when I was 7, because, I'm not making this up, I didn't want to stand up and play, I wanted to sit down. So, did the violin for a while, did the cello. I played the trumpet, actually, when I was in middle school band, and then my dad bought a guitar, taught me a few chords, and I think I gave up all those instruments and just started playing guitar.
I cannot work like this.